This is Forever United TV with your midday updates. Now, I want to be across absolutely everything while this transfer window is on. And I've said all along, right across every minor detail. And the story's just popped up when I didn't think there would be anything to talk about this lunchtime. Rasmus Hojlund to Inter Milan. I want to get into the details of this one because this has just come up again from Italian sources, and what they're saying about Rasmus Hojlund is that he is 100% a definite target for Inter Milan. Yes, Champions League finalist Inter Milan. Inzaghi, wonder manager, second Champions League final in 3 years. Inter Milan. Them, yeah, our failure of a striker. What's going on with the world of football? Now, this, I think I'm going to grab in a load of comments on this regarding Rasmus Hojlund and what we should actually do. See, because this morning, and I've gone into detail, and I've just done a video on Football Talks talking about Newcastle United coming in for Liam Delap at the last minute before he decides. So we've got 3 days before Liam Delap decides what he wants to do with his future, where he wants to go. And Manchester United don't really have many forward options. We are all in on Liam Delap, and Liam Delap is our only striker target at the moment of any significance. We've reported that, we've gone into details on it. Fabrizio Romano has said the same thing. Manchester United have sold a project. Everton have sold a project where we can leave if they're not at a certain point in a couple of years. Chelsea have sold the Champions League project to him, and God knows what Newcastle are going to do. They're also in the Champions League, but they've got Alexander Isak in front of him. And I'm guessing it's going to have to be some significant financial package for Liam Delap to move to Newcastle at this point. I'd be surprised if it wasn't Chelsea or Manchester United, is what I'm saying. But that doesn't mean that Manchester United, even with Delap coming in, are absolutely stacked in the striker market. We'd be even desperately more short on strikers if Rasmus Hojlund left. Now, there isn't one Manchester United fan that I know, I mean, there's probably a couple actually, I'll tell a lie then, that would want to keep Rasmus Hojlund on. Now, they'd want to keep him on working under another top striker. Honestly, I'm just going to say this right now, and I do apologise, but I feel like I'm speaking for the rest of the Manchester United fan base here, in that Liam Delap, backed up by Rasmus Hojlund, doesn't give you much confidence of actual experience and prowess and goal-scoring history. Like, they are both very, very low when it comes to the sort of goal-scoring charts of Premier League strikers. Liam Delap did well in his first season at Ipswich. Relegation threatened Ipswich. Rasmus Hojlund didn't. And Rasmus Hojlund really now is at a point where, like we said this morning, he is, 76th place in the Premier League in terms of leading goal scorers. That's United's top striker. Inter Milan want him. And it's been made very, very clear. We've been talking about this, not really in too much detail, over the last few weeks, while the transfer window has just been prepping itself through the month of May, it would seem. All of the stories have come out in one go. But Inter Milan are looking at Rasmus Hojlund, and I'm just going to bring up the story now and what it actually says on it, and then we'll get through it and break it completely down on everything and what's going on. But just bear with me one moment on this while I just bring up this story, because I feel like with Rasmus Hojlund, what Manchester United are looking at here, personally, I feel, is a player that has got credit in Italy but nothing in England. Now, it's said that Inter Milan want Rasmus Hojlund. They want to take him on loan next season with an option to buy. His salary is about €4 million a year, which is more than affordable for Inter Milan. Like we've known, Rasmus Hojlund has been a problem with his transfer fee, but Rasmus Hojlund, in terms of moving him on, really, the reason why Manchester United could see Rasmus Hojlund leaving is because he doesn't have substantial wages, like, for instance, Antony, who loaning him out is a bit of a problem. Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho. Trying to get rid of these types of players are always difficult because of the wages. And United do need to cover the rest of the value of Rasmus Hojlund, but also within them PSR realms, and what Manchester United need to do to sell players is their contracts that they have to pay out. Now, Rasmus Hojlund is very, very low. This is why Garnacho will leave United, because his wages are ridiculously low, and someone will take him on easily and give him a better deal. If United want all of Rasmus Hojlund's wages covered, and maybe a bit of a loan fee from a football club this summer, it's easily done. The problem you've got, though, is, and this is where I want to gauge your thoughts and your comments, they want to do this, and they are 100% on board with it, Inter Milan. It's only going to be a loan. They're not going to buy him. Would you loan Rasmus Hojlund from Manchester United? Would you let him go out on loan knowing that we are so short? Is he that bad? You'd rather have other options from the academy come through and give them a chance. Look, Rasmus Hojlund's record in the Premier League, shocking. Absolutely shocking. 32 games, 4 goals. Absolutely appalling for Manchester United. Nowhere near good enough. Could an academy player do better next season? Could an academy player with better players around him do better next season? I think the question I'm asking everybody here right now is, would you like to see Rasmus Hojlund play his trade up front for United in just a domestic season with the likes of possibly Matthias Cunha and Brian Mbeumo behind him as number 10s who are going to create more? I personally feel like they would still score more goals than Rasmus Hojlund, and he's the out-and-out number 9. And so the point is, really, if Liam Delap doesn't come in, can we afford to let Rasmus go? And that sounds absolutely staggering on its own, doesn't it? Inter Milan's interest in Rasmus is real. Inter Milan would take Rasmus Hojlund from Manchester United, but what about what that leaves Manchester United with? I think United will be open to this. They've said all along that every single player is up for sale at Manchester United. I think United would demand a loan fee out of Rasmus Hojlund just to soften the blow, help pay that next instalment for this season. Obviously, his wages would be covered, bonuses would be added on, and certain stipulations would be involved in this. If, say, for instance, Inter Milan qualified for the Champions League again, or won the league, or did something miraculous, then that option turns into an obligation and they have to buy him for a certain amount. If he scores a certain amount of goals, they have to buy him. All of this can be negotiated in, obviously, but it still leaves United short. And again, the news coming out about Liam Delap and now Newcastle coming in for him, and this decision over the next 3 days over him coming in, like Liam Delap on his own for Manchester United. Like, how short can United cut this squad? I understand you could maybe, if you brought, say, for instance, Mbeumo or Cunha in, one of them could fit in at 9. Chido could get a chance in at number 9. I don't know which way they're going to go about it. Does being out of Europe and not playing 15 games, as many as we did last season, next season, which it could turn out to be, then does that give you the option to just have one striker in? Surely not. Surely not. But is Rasmus Hojlund good enough for Manchester United fans to feel like they need to keep him? If we get rid of Rasmus, is it just a case of, well, let's be honest, if anybody went into that role to do a better job than Rasmus Hojlund? And then you start to thinking, like, what are the championship challengers in Serie A and the Champions League finalists 2 years out of the last 3? What are they seeing in Rasmus Hojlund? Are we missing something here? I don't think we are. I would get rid of Rasmus Hojlund in a heartbeat. I'm just with that group of fans, I feel now, where I don't think we can because of numbers. It sounds ludicrous. It sounds absolutely crazy. Is he that bad that you would just send him on loan anyway in hope that he does better elsewhere, knowing that you haven't got another striker? Is he that bad? That's the question I'm asking everybody. Get your thoughts in below. But that's really the only significant bit of news that we've got to update you on this lunchtime anyway. Thank you everyone for being involved. Make sure you pop a like on the video. Hit that subscribe button for all your updates. Like I said, I want to cover every tiny little bit of news and stories so you're completely up to date. And then this evening we'll go into more details about everything that's going on this afternoon. Thank you everybody. Get involved. Get into the comments. Subscribe, like, and I'll see you all in the next show.